I'm Michelle Parisi. Stay tuned for the Long Island Filmmakers Show with host Jerry Parisi.
You act like you don't want to listen when I'm talking to you. You think you ought to do, baby, anything you want to do. You gotta be crazy, baby. Just gotta be.
Hi, Jerry Parisi here, and welcome to the Long Island Filmmakers Show. Last week's show was pretty good, huh? It was Violet LeCurry and, of course, Jacqueline DeSimone. But this week, I bring some wonderful actors to our show as well. But before I do, I want to thank the people in Greenville, South Carolina for the letter and the offer to run the video. I want to mention that we did take this to the head producers, and for your information, it will be run. We'll be getting in touch with you. All right, our show's got some pretty impressive people here today. I got Peter Quin, and I got Joyce Philbin. And I must say that the actors have a lot of things there that they can offer as well. So right now, before anything happens, let's go to a commercial, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
You're watching the Long Island Filmmakers Show with host Jerry Parisi.
Hi, we're back. And nothing happened, even though I thought something might. Well, today we have our two guests, Peter Quin and Joyce Philbin.
Nothing's happened yet.
Nothing's happened. I wonder why. I closed before by saying, before something happens, Tommy looks at me and says, what could have possibly happened? But I guess what could happen is that our guests get tongue-tied, and I don't want to do that. Tongue-tied.
That was a good demonstration.
It was a good, you know what, that was a demonstration. So what we'll do is we're going to start with Peter, only because normally ladies go first, but your resume is the size of a city bus. And I'm afraid we're going to get lost. Peter, you're always doing a play, and I have to tell you, we saw the play, we've seen it a few times, and it's great. Tell us about the play so the audience may want to see that.
It's called, it's an original piece called The Prodigal Daughter. And it's based on the parable from the Bible, the prodigal son, only from a woman's perspective. And there's 3 characters: the prodigal daughter, the angel, and God. And you can guess who I play since I'm not.
I'm going to say you play not the daughter.
No, not the angel.
Not the angel. You're God?
Yeah.
So when I die, I find you?
Yes, my son.
Okay, bless me, Father, for I have not sinned.
Trust me, I know you.
And you and I go back a long time. Actually, we played arch enemies in a TV series, which will be picked up by Madhouse, called Here's to Us. And it had been put on the back burner for a few reasons. But Peter plays the nemesis, creative director against me in the agency. And
a womanizer, which I like.
And a womanizer, which he likes.
God, who's a womanizer.
God is a womanizer. That's going to get the people down south. They're never going to watch this show again.
I like that.
And being this womanizer, I guess the idea between you and I in that show, which is based on advertising, is to see which girls we get more than the other?
Yes. We have a competition, yes.
Are there any pictures up of the newest thing you're working on? I don't know. We'll find that out.
Well, I'm still acting in The Prodigal Daughter. In fact, I met the writer, director, and The Prodigal Daughter, Doreen, before here, because we're expanding it even more, where the character of God and the character of Angel both are going to be singing also.
Oh, wow.
So we were working on that before I came here. You saw me, oh, that's you and I'm the better looking one.
Oh. Well, besides that, that's a new show coming up. Well, first of all,
the one to, there's The Prodigal Daughter, that's God and the Prodigal Daughter dancing because...
Now God wears cutoffs like that? I just double checking.
Well, that shows that God is in everyone, no matter what the person looks like.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
All right. What are you doing there?
Okay. I'm looking at my picture that disappeared.
Well, the picture that was just up a little bit ago, you play something. It's a very different show. You're allowed to talk a little bit about it without mentioning the title of the...
Okay, it's... I play the background before leading up to the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Right. You're a scary ghost. I could see that.
Yes.
What I didn't love was they actually put me on high boxes to get me as tall as you.
Right.
We'll see what happens with that. But the point is, you play that part pretty well, and that's something we'll be looking forward to. In fact, it's moving to its next step.
Good.
So
I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah, come the holidays, and of course the play, Who Killed Jacob T. Marley? That'll be really good too. That's gonna be a dinner theater. Now I'm gonna bring you to Joyce. So get ready. I said this on our bumper the other day. Joyce, what have you been in?
Well, most recently I've been in Taxi Brooklyn and The Leftovers, which just premiered this summer. And fortunately, they're being picked up for a second season, so we're pretty excited about that. But I've also been in Elementary, Person of Interest, Royal Pains, Unforgettable, just to mention a few.
Who's your agent?
I would love one. I would love an agent.
Well, I could always introduce you to my manager, but she's a week away in this show. But you'll see her then.
I'll get my reel done quick.
She's always yelling at me, get my reel done. Get your reel done, Parisi! If she were here right now, she'd throw a shoe, trust me. But how do you get these jobs?
It's project notices are put out on the internet, and it really is a lot better than it used to be, because you used to get calls all the time, and you weren't always available. This way, you submit for projects when you are available. And as you grow, you start to know the sets and know the procedures and the protocols, and you build to the point where you're featured, and so you're not just an unrecognizable blur.
Right.
You're actually doing a part of the scene with one of the principals, which is always exciting. So yeah, I mean, it's usually done online, and then the casting directors will call you directly or email you directly to book you.
So those hopefuls out there, those people, the young children, the men, the women, whoever want to be in something, there is hope to do good work, because it sounds like you could
Absolutely, yep.
make a living with this, yeah.
Yes, you start out, beginning like you always do in any career, learning, and it's a learning curve. And as you start to learn the business a little bit more, and you become a union member, then you can, as long as you get regular work, you can do okay. But in acting, you're only as good as your next job.
Yeah.
So you're just always hoping for that phone to ring.
What if you could be on one of the shows you mentioned as a regular principal? What show would you like to be on?
Well, I have to say I really love the two that are this summer, and I'm doing two completely different things. In Taxi Brooklyn, I'm core NYPD in the precinct.
Wow.
So when you see all of the police, in the background, moving around, and the other night there was this, big gun battle going on, and the police officers are, diving to the floor. It was like very action-packed. So you get to do a lot of fun stuff. But now you have The Leftovers, which is done by the director who directed Lost.
Oh,
So
okay, that's a good director.
Yes, and it has a lot of components, a lot of different storylines going on within the main storyline. And I was established as Meg's mother by a poster. So it was picked up for a second season, and if Meg's mother is actually brought in, I've been told I've been established. So that works out really well.
Wow, that's
Nice.
pretty exciting. I mean,
Yeah.
you're right up there on the par of getting next to Robert Downey Jr. at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm Liv Tyler's mother, so that's pretty exciting.
Pretty, yeah.
Yeah. But they're two completely different roles, and I've been doing this long enough that anything would be great. I mean, they're both great shows.
Wow. And Peter, you too are, and I should mention that all three of us happen to be Screen Actors Guild members. You've been in SAG for many years now, but I believe you were in AFTRA first with the...
Correct, because of I did a couple of episodes of All My Children,
Oh, okay.
and I joined after through that.
About since the 80s, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, me too, 81. How long have you been in Screen Actors Guild?
I was one of the people that benefited from the merger. I was AFTRA.
Oh, okay.
And when they merged, we all became SAG-AFTRA. So that was really exciting, because at this age, it's really tough to get...
23, you mean?
Yes, exactly. Almost 24.
And I have hair.
That's right. It's tough to get waivers. So, it's...
I didn't do that. I actually fought my way from AFTRA into SAG.
And how long, but you had been
I had,
doing...
at the time, I was in AFTRA, and I was doing a lot of little video industrials and things like that. And someone had called me, and I said, listen, to do it, I have to be Screen Actors Guild. And I kind of conned them to go do that, and they registered with the Screen Actors Guild. And then I got my check, and I ran to SAG, and I said, look, I got my check, and here's my
that's
file.
great,
And
yeah.
I did, and at the time, it wasn't $3,100 to join.
No.
I don't remember what it was, but it was a good number for the money. But
Well, my first background was Masquerade with Rob Lowe, Meg Tilly, John Glover, and I didn't really know anything about the protocol of joining SAG. But I was a waitress in the diner scene because I was the only one that fit the costume.
Oh,
So
see,
I never even thought to ask for a waiver. And then when I got back into the business all the years later, it didn't count. So it was like starting from scratch. So I definitely appreciate the merger, because that really benefited people like me that have been doing it for a long time, but, just getting the waivers is tough.
It is. And we know so many people. Our good friend Cheryl Martin works about 16, 17, 18 hours a day. I think she's about that far away from it at that point.
Right, yeah.
And you were in the soaps. And what did you do back then? Were you God?
No. Are you evolved into God? No. I say one episode I play a cop, one episode I play the thug, and one episode I play the firefighter. And, like she says, when you play opposite one of the principals, it's a great feeling. And they were all very welcoming, and treated me like one of their own. It was a great cast to work with.
From what I heard from a very good director, the way it works is if you work next to a principal, you kind of elevate yourself on the ladder a little bit, but that principal drops down a little bit. And the same thing if you happen to work somebody next to you who is lesser, you drop down again, because it's been a ladder industry, and that's one of these things. Next week I'll ask my manager. She's on next week's show, but we'll find that out. I'll ask her that specific question. So some of the pictures up that we can take a look from some of here, and okay.
This is when I was in The Graduate. I was Benjamin's mother. This is from The Leftovers. That's the flyer I was introduced 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And that's with Liv Tyler. She plays Meg. And we're really hoping that they bring her mother in for next season. This is Unforgettable. And that's Poppy Montgomery that you see there. And it's a flashback scene. Same thing, it's a little wider shot. Now this is one of my favorite stories. I was non-union at the time, and this is the remake of Arthur with Russell Brand. And
I was in it too.
Yes, Jerry and I were in the same place. We had no idea. And I had no hope of getting a shot on screen like that, but I reacted the exact same way every single time they did the scene, so in hopes that they would like my reaction. And Russell Brand has taken off all of his clothes at this point and basically told his mom, forget it, and he's on his way. So I was really lucky. Now this is when I interacted with one of the principals on The Blacklist, and James Doyle was starring, I think, in that episode, and he went over the bridge, and his whole family goes into the water. His wife is laying on the beach, and he's carrying his daughter out, and I run down the beach as he's carrying her out of the water, and he hands her off to me. So that was really cool. This is The Blacklist, and that's from Romeo and Juliet, the live stage version. Figaro, I was the midwife. And this was an independent film that I did. I was Secretary of State, called The Last House. This was funny. This was at Citi Field for Sharknado 2. And it was just as kooky and crazy, and as you can imagine. And it was snowing at Citi Field that day, and we were running through the rotunda, pretending that sharks were flying all around us. Royal Pains. What I love about Royal Pains is the wardrobe. I use it as an excuse every year to go out and buy new clothes. But that's me over his shoulder, and I think that was shot out in Southampton.
That's pretty great. That's pretty nice.
Yes.
Very, very impressive,
Thank you.
I think we've got some time going to a commercial in a moment. And right now, you're watching the Long Island Filmakers Show with me, Jerry Parisi, your host, Mr. Peter Quinones, and the lovely Joyce Philbin. We'll be right back.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
You're watching the Long Island Filmakers Show with host Jerry Parisi.
We're back. I also have a front. But I wanted to mention that we're with Peter Quinones and the lovely Joyce Philbin. And so my question to both of you is, if anybody wanted to do this, what would be the course of action to get on TV or movies? What's the best advice you can give them?
You want to go first?
You have to be patient. You have to be humble. You have to know the chain of command. You know, when you go on a set, you have to be respectful. Some principals don't want to be approached, so it's best not to approach them at all. You want to make sure that if you tell a casting director that you're available for a shoot, that you show up. Everyone is interdependent on everyone. Nobody is less important than anybody else. And when one person, even if it's background, doesn't show up, you're holding somebody up.
Sure.
And that holds up the rest of the chain. So I think you also have to not be so, like they're not picking me because of this, or they're not picking me. You are a good fit somewhere, because there's so much being shot out there.
Sure.
And so you have to believe in yourself, you have to have confidence, and you have to be persistent in submitting for the projects, and just be patient, because there could be a long time before you don't get a call. But it doesn't mean you're not going to get a call. It just means it's not your time yet.
Pretty good advice. And Peter, from the play side of things, I mean, what do you do if somebody doesn't show up the night of a show and you're missing somebody with main lines?
That has never happened to me. I've never experienced that, thankfully.
Thankfully, yeah.
Yeah, because if I'm pretty sure the director would see something along the way if they had to be replaced, if they weren't being responsible, if they weren't showing up, if they weren't there for rehearsal, they weren't interacting with the rest of the cast. I'm pretty sure that they would say, like, okay, we got to replace you.
Yeah, no, I can understand that, sure.
But I mean, some shows, they have stand-ins, in case of that. Let's say someone got violently ill.
Yeah.
Which could happen. You have a stand-in that would fill in for the day.
Good understudy, yeah. And isn't it so true that if someone is upset, that goes like dominoes through a stage production. Their negativity for
Yes.
something or other,
It permeates.
it permeates, and then you could be pretty much in trouble.
Well, that's why that's what an actor is about, though.
Yes.
They have to, let's say something, God forbid, happened in my own personal life, I have to leave that outside when I go out there and perform. Because if I bring that in, like you said, the whole show crumbles.
And it's the whole key to acting,
Right.
because when you're taking on a persona of a character, you don't exist.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You are a vessel for that character.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important that you put that to the curb when you walk out on a stage.
Good advice. Good advice. Is there any last words you want to say? To think about where you've been and where you want to go would be, I guess, the next question.
Well, I just did an independent film that you
Mm-hmm.
saw. They showed at the Belmore Film Festival. And,
That's right, Andrew Henriquez. That's
right,
10
10
questions. Very good
right,
movie.
Which you can buy at Amazon, DVD or Blu-ray. Anyway,
Please buy
Shameless.
that.
Shameless.
of course. And he's in pre-production of another one that I'm going to be involved in. It's called Hooking Up.
Oh, nice.
It's a
God is hooking up.
God,
I play a detective in this one. I play a
God is
detective.
now hooking up.
It's a musical thriller.
Boy, oh boy. The people in the South, I have some really good people down South that have been watching this. Not anymore. I can tell you right now, they're out. They're going to go to Fripp and say, I'm going on vacation now. I don't want to even see this show.
But it's a musical thriller, which I've never heard. That
A
kind of
musical thriller. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's loosely based on the Craigslist killers. So,
Nice.
Oh, wow.
so we'll see.
And if you could be anywhere, Joyce, give us that. Where would you want to be someday?
I definitely want to do principal work with lines. I've been very comfortable in front of the camera. The stage scares me. I do it. It's very thrilling when you're out there.
Sure.
But I do think that my fort is in front of the camera. So I would definitely like to get some sort of a principal role on either, a film or a series. Series would be great, and comedy. I love comedy, so that would really be my preference.
See, I love theater. That would be my preference.
Wow.
My dream role is to play the King and the King and I on Broadway.
I was just thinking,
That would be my dream.
So it's gone from God to a king.
how do you get in the door?
All right, this has been the Filmakers Show, the Long Island Filmakers Show, actually. And next week's guest, I will say, I'm very, very happy to announce that Angela Galizio, executive producer of the Umbrella movie, will be here. Chris Roach, amazing comic, will be here. And I'm just going to bring a barricade because I know my manager throws shoes at me. So with that, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.